G'day everyone, welcome back to my vlog. I'm Connor the Typing Riley. I acknowledge it's been a while and I do apologise, but life gets away from us sometimes. If you're new here, welcome. If you're back, welcome back. And if you want to take a quick moment to hit that like button, share, subscribe, it is all appreciated. This is a place where I document my training as I prep for various competitions throughout the calendar year, hopefully providing some tips and tricks to anyone who is interested. What have I been doing? The 62 of you might be wondering who have subscribed. I've been doing a lot and I've been doing not much. Last year was incredibly emotionally exhausting. Definitely a new experience for me, with the challenges of command at work, challenges at home, personal pressures and expectations I put upon myself. It really is a testament to can't do everything, do a couple of things really well and stick with that. That being said, coming into 2025, had a little bit of time off, so to reprioritise, get back into the swing of training. I've only missed a couple of days so far for the new year. Granted, I haven't put out the equivalent amount of footage for how much I've been training. But that's okay, we don't have to live behind the screen, and I've been enjoying the detox from the screen as well. Now that I'm working on these videos again and going to be putting them back up, I probably will, I dare say, it goes hand in hand with the editing and the access to all of my footage, that I will be posting regularly again. For those who care, on socials, mainly Instagram. Contemplating getting X to reach a bit more of an audience. I'm just testing, do some trials, see if it's worth my time. It is finite. Last year I left off doing my fibular hypertrophy. Essentially it's sets of 6 to 8 reps. Normally at those maximal sorts of weights as well, so you're really grinding for those 6 to 8. That was virtually all of November. At the time I was still capable of maintaining that sort of tempo. The body was well primed from the competitions throughout the year. Just finished Static Monsters, end of October. December rolls around and I virtually had nothing left in the tank. For the entirety of December, virtually the entirety of December, didn't touch a weight. It's probably going to sound disgusting to some of you strength elites, as it were. But I ended up running every couple of days. Just go for a run, super slow. I'm talking 9 to 10 minute kilometres, incredibly slow. And that is where I found my zen in December. Just going for runs, no headphones. It was peaceful, I enjoyed it, and it's something I'm maintaining now. Just go for runs. Came into January with renewed goals, renewed sense of purpose, and a direction. I find I struggle without having direction. Probably why I've stayed in the military for so long. It's one of the few times the term absolution is correct, and there's always a sense of direction in the military. And if there isn't one I can make one. With me, when I paid for naturally aspirated in May, it was too far out to consider it comp prep. However, approximately 100 days out of competition, so I can begin my competition prep for naturally aspirated. Lots of volumes, try and get some hypertrophic stimulus more so, whilst dropping some body fat. My intent is to compete as an under 90 competitor against a bloke I lived out of his pocket with in Ireland last year. That's Luke Kyger, of Beerley lifting. I reckon that'll be a lot of fun, for sure. And I enjoy being an under 90 competitor in the sense that the body just feels better. It's not as heavy and slow and sore, mainly when it comes to my back and my knees. On a 5'7" frame, they're not meant to be this heavy in my opinion. After the volume block, I'll then have about 10 or so weeks of split. I'm moving into peaking for heavy weights and that more specific phase. I feel like at the moment with the events that are listed, the one I'm going to struggle with the most will be the zone load, purely due to exposure. I don't lift. I don't have access to Atlas stones on a regular basis. It'll be interesting working around that one.
I wanna feel it day and night. You are the power of my life. I wanna pump it better. I wanna feel it day and night. My work of my delight. You are the power of my life. I wanna pump it better. I wanna feel the
One thing I realised this morning when I was doing the first part of this vlog, now that I've got direction and a sense of purpose again, is I was wearing the wrong t-shirt. Not completely wrong. I got that Masashi shirt as a result of me reaching out going, hey, I do stuff, I'm okay at lifting weights, have you got any room for sponsorship? And they're like, nah man, no room for the likes of you, you're not strong enough yet. I'm like, that's cool. And then they're like, we'll send you some free merch to rep. That's how I got my Masashi t-shirt. It's a very comfortable t-shirt. I do like the cut. Well, I'll tell you what's even more comfortable. My merch. It's great. So do yourself a favour and do a brother a favour. Get down that link in the description. Buy yourself a couple of training tees. You won't regret it. They're super comfy. Non-biased opinion coming from an unbiased vlog. Back to where I was going with this. My current split. My current split looks like squatting on a Monday, doing some sort of vertical or horizontal pressing on a Wednesday, deadlift or hinge on a Friday, and then more pressing on a Sunday. Those in-between days are in the event that life happens and I need to play catch-up, so I can shift my weight sessions forward a day, more pertinent to during the week. Or if I'm feeling really good and I'm recovering well, I've also got conditioning sessions I'm throwing in there. They're more aligned with Strongman and the like. Got my safety squat bar back. So on the menu is squats, like I was saying before. Sets of 10, volume. This month is all about volume. The only things I'm going to be doing less than 10 reps on are movements where I want to elicit a certain stimulus because of carryover in the next block. An example of that is going to be a exaggerated good morning with the safety squat bar, in the sense that I'm going to be trying to emphasize as much ROM as possible, even taking my spine into degrees of flexion, with the hope that that will carry over into lifting Atlas stones. It is a piece of kit I don't have space for yet. Yeah, it's on the list. One day I'll have stones. And then, with any luck, I can then just tidy up the technique side in the event that I go to a gym, particularly in Brisbane, over the next weeks, months, and get a few actual reps in on the stone. Because at this stage, that is the only event realistically that concerns me, noting what a couple of the other fellas are like when it comes to lifting stones. I want to stay competitive, stay in contention for top spot, because I don't like to compete to aim for second place or lower. Exception to that statement was Islands last year. I went there for experience. I'll hold my heart to that. If I had a better prep, then I would have had higher expectations, but I had a horrible prep, so I had low expectations. So I took what I could out of it, found the silver linings, and learnt as much as I could. Talking positions with a front squat tonight. What I'm trying to achieve is as upright posture as possible with the greatest degree of knee flexion possible. The reason for this is with this higher volume stuff, I'm trying to elicit a hypertrophic stimulus in a sense. Still moving all my weights with intent as fast as possible because it's got a better carryover. If I want to elicit more of a hypertrophic stimulus, that's where I'll be looking more at your time under tension, slowing the eccentrics down, as opposed to slowing down the concentrics. However, I want sport-specific carryover still. I'm not a bodybuilder, so I felt the mass I'm going to put on will still be that functional mass I'm after. One of the ways you can elicit greater degrees of knee flexion, particularly in a squat, is the old lifting shoe with a heel. Very much the only heel you'll catch me in. That being said, you may have to take it easy if you are new to wearing lifters, looking more so at the western side of the population. It does increase the stress on your patella and quad tendons. I suffered from this many years ago, where I was brash, went into it far too quickly, and as a result had some knee pain that didn't rectify itself until I got out of the lifters for about 3 months, and then did the right things and actually strengthened up those joints, tendons. Doing it properly the first time helps. So if you watch this and you get something out of this, just a point to note that if you are trying to go as deep as possible in a squat with lifters, it is something you may have to factor in. One thing, one of many things, I need to remind myself is I'm in a calorie deficit right now, as my goal is to compete at naturally aspirated as an under 90. What I'm trying to get at is that when you're in a calorie deficit, you don't have the normal glycogen stores you would. Therefore, it is difficult to push the same numbers you're used to pushing. You have absurd expectations if you think physiologically you are capable of maintaining your fully fueled numbers. Doesn't happen. Might in the short term, but any prolonged period where you're in a calorie deficit, performance will falter. And it's not that you've lost muscle size per se, it's more along the lines of you've lost action potential as a result of having lower glycogen stores in the muscle bellies themselves. Which explains why probably retain less water. Carbohydrate, it's in the name, hydrate. Not eating as many carbs, you're not retaining as much water. And it's a tricky one because you still need to eat a good amount of fat to maintain brain health and cognitive function, among other things. So I'm going to give this 150 a go. I'm going to throw the belt on. Normally I wouldn't. I'm going to. Should get it. Should. Keyword. Spur of the moment, I've now decided to do a mic'd up set. How this will sound, I am uncertain. For those watching at home, for those watching at home, and potentially Instagram if I decide to put it on Instagram, this is 150 kilos of suck in my current state. If you want to find out why this is 150 kilos of suck, you're going to have to watch my vlog when it drops. It might be mildly entertaining. And yes, I have a belt on because I'm being a bitch. That last one felt more like a stripper squat. I'll have to have a look at the video and see how shit it was. Either way, that's 150 kilos for 10. Let me catch my breath. I have another point I want to race. I've now found an angle that captures a decent side of my face. And it's debatable, I understand this. But where I was going to go with before, I got distracted by doing my good mornings, was with, I find, personal opinion, what according to me, I find this is on when you bury a squat fast, I hear it in my knees and feel it in my knees. Relying on that stretch reflex. Again, it's one of those things that you need to build up tolerance to, that progressive overload model, blah blah blah, science and principles and stuff. If you don't want to waste the brain power learning it, get a coach. Where I was going though is, if you overdo it, rely on that stretch reflex too much to get you out of the hole, I believe that's doing yourself a disservice. So it may not look like it, but to me it feels like a distinct pause in the bottom, killing off that stretch reflex. I definitely feel the difference in my knees compared to when I just bomb it straight down. Like anyone can squat fast, anyone can bomb it. Whether or not that bomb is successful is dependent on the human being. But for me, from a longevity perspective, from eliciting the stimulus I want to elicit, I try not to bomb it. That's just my 2 cents. Do with it what you will. Happy press day everyone. Like I reiterated earlier in the video, Wednesday is now my press days. On top of that, I was meant to do conditioning yesterday afternoon, but this old rig was too tired, so I decided to sleep and do it this morning. It was a good session, might I add. Anywho, one of the new pieces of equipment I have acquired recently is a Swiss bar. For those who haven't had much exposure to it, much nicer on the shoulders, elbows, wrists, because it's neutral grip. And with neutral grip, it will hopefully carry over to Strongman a bit better. Which is particularly pertinent this year because at this stage I'm not going to be doing any powerlifting, as my best mate is the reason why I do powerlifting in the first place. Yes, it's a difficult sport that requires maximum effort, however, it is a very easy sport to train for. And my ADHD/tisms doesn't like doing the same thing over and over and over again. I'm not that way inclined. So that's where Strongman comes in handy, because I can keep changing things up, keeping it fresh. Never bored, essentially. So tonight, going through, just doing heaps of press volume, load the triceps up, get them nice and spicy, and then we'll convert across to a log later in the week and do some log work. Or some axle, not quite decided yet, it would be something along those lines.
What's that? You're feeling flaky on Monday?
Yep.
Was pretty lazy over the weekend, didn't do much. Huh? I don't like you that much. It's not all about you, dear. What? And therein lies the problem with women, their own self-importance. Oh, now I'm free to do what I want.
Who else would you be talking to?
Myself, I get a better conversation. At least my brain can keep up with me.
All those days.
Tracking. Fuck, woman. Now I don't know where I was going to go with that.
Well, it's like I went to go on my phone for something before specific, and you lost my train of
I lost your train
You
of
lost
thought.
my train of thought.
Nah. Anywho, thanks to the intermission provided by the wife, we were pretty slack over the weekend. Not like we didn't do nothing. We just didn't go in the gym to train. So here we are, Monday night. This is meant to be Friday's session, but here we are, Monday night, 2 days later. Which means we also skipped out another press session, but oh well, we'll play catch up. That's the whole premise of like having a plan, but it's not when it really matters. So it's okay. No point losing sleep over it. Anywho, I've digressed for too long. We're doing some deficit axle deadlifts tonight. With any luck, I'm going to hit a decent number for 10. Belting up early because I can. Got the sweats on because volume. So let's get after it. Well, this is bullshit. I would have thought 2.5 hours post-consumption of pasta, and mind you, it wasn't even that big a bowl of pasta, I'd be capable of deadlifting. I mean, I am, but I don't want to throw up. So I'm not going to deadlift tonight. I'm going to get shitty at it, leave it, and do it again tomorrow. At least now I have something to do tomorrow, on top of conditioning. That's okay. Stay flexy. But I did give it a go, as you saw. Belt off, tried to keep it down, wasn't staying down, just wanted to keep coming up. Well, that finally brings to a close my first vlog for the year, which was meant to be my last vlog for last year. It has now been nearly 4 months in the making. By the time you see this, the planned release date was not actually planned, it's just when I got it finished. After many attempts at recording some footage, doing some talking, it all didn't feel right. Until the last week, where I restarted everything for like the 6th time. But if you made it this far, thank you for watching. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're returning, welcome back. So hopefully you've enjoyed the video. At least now, if you want to find out what kind of deadlifting I have achieved, that I didn't get to do tonight because of pasta belly, you have to tune in for the start of the next one, whenever that gets released. I'm not making any promises. It's a one-man show after all. Till next time, catches.